Guyana's first people, the indigenous, makes up almost 11% of the country's population, living in the most remote areas in the hinterland. For years, this group has been dependent on government or other support for survival. Since its assumption to office, the government has been pushing several initiatives aimed at bringing development to the people while preserving their traditional way of life. These projects are aimed at ensuring that they are empowered and economically independent. In this week's edition of Guyana 411, we highlight 4 indigenous communities. We will examine their potential and some of the projects being rolled out to improve the people's livelihood. I am Seneca Thorne. Stay tuned. Tucked away back of the Maikoni River, Muraki is a beautiful and serene village with great potential for ecotourism. From the alluring expanse of white sand to an abundance of trees offering both shade and fruits, this community has managed to maintain its rich Arawak culture.
The drive to Muraki takes approximately 2 hours, during which one is transported away from the sounds and sight of the well-known concrete jungle to a place where villagers enjoy peacefulness and all the basic necessities that comes with a good life.
Yeah.
In 2015, the Guyana Tourism Authority, GTA, and tour operators crossed the wetlands on an adventure to Muraki and sought to explore the tourism offerings of the area. The Tourism Ministry then launched the inaugural Wet Savanna Safari in the community. The trip from Georgetown to Muraki through the sand trail begins at the Linden Highway Junction. The visitors enjoy an adventurous ride as they watch the terrain change from clay to sand while approaching the village. Caiman spotting, exploring other wildlife and bird watching were just some of the community's tourism product the visitors were able to enjoy. Tushao Colin Adrian said the community will be capitalizing on this sector to further develop their community.
I find it creating like avenues for my people whereby the crafters can benefit, the dancing group can be benefit of it, the guest house is being benefit. So they have things coming in into the community, and if this, what I'm looking for is to like try to elevate the young people and see this as a drive that can able to take the community to the next level. We have so many things to offer in Muraki pertaining to like tourists. You can do bird watching. I just took a girl to have a boat ride, an introduction boat ride, and it is a maze to her. Just at the back of me, the creek that is there, Francois Creek, it leads to the Maikoni River. It is 98 miles from here to the coast, and you can able to hire a boat.
The community is also embarking on a number of other initiatives to enhance economic development. The Tushao says that among projects being undertaken is the completion of the lower flat of the multipurpose building, the repair of the village boat, and the procurement of equipment to engage in value-added products.
We have happened to receive our presidential grant just recently, a sum of $2 million, which we have categorized into 3 different projects. One is the completion of the lower flat of the multipurpose, the repair of the village lunch boat, and also some woodworking tools for the multipurpose to do like value-added products. Presently, we are in the stream of working on the lunch. They are working on the lunch. We are using our own resource person to do that. We have already purchased the ministry purchased the tools for the multi-purpose. We received that. We still yet to receive a planer from the ministry. And shortly from now, we will be going into the completion of the multi-purpose hall, lower flat, whereby we will be constructing a sanitary block.
The community also received $1 million towards the development of their culture group. The money was used to purchase a keyboard, microphones, and a generator set, among other equipment, to establish a music band. The community wants to establish an all-weather road to allow persons to have easier access to their community. Those who want to experience the wet savanna will also have the opportunity to do so.
Our vision for our project right now, we wanted to embark, because if we are to go into tourism, we need to do an all-weather road. Because what I have found now with these two visits from the that came in, recently we had a safari tour, and they came in the very extreme wet weather, very extreme weather, and they actually said that it is very, it's a cost to come in, it's a challenging thing to come into the community during the course of this wet weather. And if we can have this all-weather road, you can have access to the community faster, and you can still have access to use the road with those who want to face the challenges of it. So that is one of our vision and like a project we wanted to establish by the time I demit office. I wanted to see that this road.
Muraki has a population of over 1,200 persons. It sits on an abundance of natural resources. In the past, the community was known for its mass agricultural activities, but those gradually dwindled when it became difficult to maintain crops because of the effects of climate change. Tushao Colin Adrian explains that the village council is engaging the residents with the hope of revitalizing the sector, since the vast land, mostly unoccupied, is perfect for farming.
It is something that we are now paying attention to, because our forests are being deforested presently, and we wanted to convert. That is why I've taken it one step at a time. We focus on tourism, then the agriculture drive. So we are having discussion presently. We have two farmers group in the community and ready to establish themselves. And we understand that unless you be in a group, only then assistance can be rendered. So we are working there also. But we see it as a way forward, and the council is working with the people in general.
The agriculture and tourism drive will be supported by a number of youths who are being trained in those areas. This one-year training is being facilitated by the government's Hinterland Employment and Youth Service HAYS program. After the training is completed, the youths will receive support to start up a business venture of their choice. For instance, if someone wants to get involved in farming, they will be given the tools to do so.
When most people hear the name mainstay, they think about the resort. But did you know that there is a nearby community which the resort got its name from? This well-populated indigenous village is one of the most thriving indigenous settlements, which is known for its abundance of organic pineapple cultivation.
Mainstay Wayaka, or Lake Mainstay, is about 25 minutes behind Regina Region 2. It has 3 satellite communities: Red Block, Princeville Village, and Hilltop. It has a primary and a nursery school, a health center, a community center, a playground, a chicken farm, a pine factory, a heritage park, and the main attraction of the village, the Lake Mainstay Resort.
We are a community that do farming, organic pineapple farming, and tourism. And those are the 2 things, the pillars that of Mainstay we are building upon.
Mainstay has a population of over 1,000 persons who are mostly involved in small-scale farming of pineapple, cassava, and cash crops. There is a local market in the area, but most persons travel out to Regina to sell or buy their goods and produce. One of the projects being undertaken in the community is the cultivation of 11 acres of land for a fruit farm. This project is funded under the Community Development Project to the tune of $5 million. Tushao Joel Fredericks talks about some of the challenges in rolling out this project.
We have received the first tranche of our money of 1.5. We have developed 11 acres of fruit farm with 11 farmers. But we have some challenges, and that is where we would like the Ministry of Agriculture to give us some technical advice, because we went into something new. We are pineapple farmers here at mainstay, so we divert to cherry, passion fruit, guava, and other fruit. So we have some difficulties there, so we need some support in that area.
Another aspect of the project is the establishment of an eco-lodge for the Mainstay Lake. This initiative will further boost the community's tourism product.
And that is to promote our culture and our local food and drink, indigenous style. So you have an opportunity, an option. In fact, when you come here to Mainstay, you can go to the resort, you can have air-conditioned room, or if you want, you can have our experience at the Eco Lodge.
The community will also be revitalizing their pineapple processing facility.
It was a good project, but we have some few challenges with climate change, the pricing, and marketing. So right now it is closed, but we are seeking to reopen the factory, and we want to process fruits and the heart of palm here. So we are working towards that, to start up that.
Traveling along the Lake Mainstay roads, one may see several sand dunes. The sand is usually transported by truck to places along the Essequibo coast where it is sold. This adds another economic venture to what Mainstay already enjoys. The community also recently commissioned its $7 million community ground, which is now equipped with floodlights and a pavilion which can accommodate more than 300 persons. The community will be using the ground to organize regional sporting and other activities. This will bring together persons from other communities and also provide opportunities for villagers to market their produce. The resort and eco-lodge will also be filled and marketed at these events. Lake Mainstay is also a place where persons visit during the weekends, holidays, or any other day they just feel like relaxing and enjoying a very scenic atmosphere while enjoying family time.
For many people, when they hear the name Mosquito Place, they think of a place infested with mosquitoes. But for the YY people of Region 9, Mosquito Place, when translated, means Masakanari. It is one of the most remote indigenous villages in Guyana, blessed with rich, untouched natural resources.
Masakanari, or Conishan, is surrounded by an abundance of natural resources, yet the community is managed as a community-owned conservation, the largest protected area in Guyana. The Conishan district sits on 1 million acres of titled land. It is 3% of the country, larger than that of Iwakarama, which is 2%. It houses the head of the Essequibo River, Guyana's major water source. It is home to several endangered species and the over 300 persons who live in the village of Masakanari. The YY needs this area for the survival of its people and a traditional way of life. They are worried about new and encroaching threats from mining, logging, and the wildlife trade. Tushao Paul Chikima explains.
This National Protected Area System have given to all, not all, the few at the protected area, those who get. So we make that protected area, and we name it our COCA, right? Not COCA. Now COCA is community-owned conservation area. We want to conserve that our area. And we are hoping to manage, yes, we are manage our land to be maintaining like how we are before, right? We will not change our source and our water. We want to protect that our area. So that's why we make the protected area for our not to destroy that area, because we are Amerindian, so we will not move from that side, from there, because that is our grandmother and my mother is there. That's grave, so I couldn't move. from that area.
While Conishen is a protected area, it does not fall under government's purview, as it is Guyana's first community-owned conservation area, and is thus managed exclusively by the YYs in partnership with Conservation International. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sidney Alcock, explains that government is working on a legal document which will see this community officially being part of the Protected Areas Commission. This means that the community will benefit from annual funds for preserving their resources.
I am pleased to say that this has gone a far way in terms of the agreement was sent to have a legal input to see the, to understand the language, and comments were made, and that document is sent off to the Protected Area Commission.
It takes 1 week to travel from Masakanari to Parabara by boat, then 2 days to Aishalton. Otherwise, access is by chartered aircraft to Gunstrip. Communication in the community up to last year was via radio to Crowdarno, and then message is relayed via cell phone. Last year, the government deployed a team to the community to conduct a needs assessment of the area. The team was immediately able to remedy the communication divide in the area. The community is now equipped with computers and internet connection.
Thank you very much to contribute this thing here. But we have to connect direction to the people, all the like big people, to contact with through this internet, right? Okay. So the first president, they requested 10 laptops. Now we get 2.
Right.
I will say thank you very much to have this kind of internet or laptop, right? So maybe younger. So I am old head now, but the younger, the head is good. So I will say thank you very much to connect with you, minister or ministry, whoever, the health side also, because the difficulties for us to transmit with through the radio set because too much noise.
The road leading to the nearby Parabara village was also assessed, and it was found that the road was in a deplorable state. Plans are underway to support the village to rehabilitate the road. Masakanari is equipped with a school which houses over 56 nursery, primary and secondary school-age students, a hot meal kitchen, a health center, water systems, a village office and a computer hub. It also has a Banab, women's center and an airstrip located 9 kilometers from the village. Residents receive electricity via solar panels provided by the government. Masakanari can be classified as having a subsistence economy. The primary economic activities in the community are farming, hunting, and fishing. Through funds provided by the government, this community benefited from a tractor and trailer, along with an all-terrain vehicle to assist in transporting goods and services to market their produce. Additionally, last month, the community received a truck acquired under the Community Development Plan. The truck will provide a trucking service to communities including Parabara, Aishalton, Shia, Aruranau, Achiwib, and Crowdarno.
This next village is the birthplace of one of our ministers with indigenous heritage.
The Region 7 Kayuni Mazuruni community of Kaku sits on the bank of the Kaku River, and the inviting black water remains unspoiled. Kaku means jasper in Akawayo. Jasper is a reddish stone found in the riverbed. The people, Akawayos, are fiercely protective of the river. It is the source of food and water domestic use, such as bathing and washing. It is the path that leads to the farmlands and to the airstrip at Camarang. and other surrounding communities. This beautiful and pristine community is home to over 700 indigenous people, including our very own minister within the Ministry of Communities, Dawn Hastings Williams.
I'm in my home village today, a little village called Kaku in the Upper Mazruni, a little clean village, and whom I always encourage the leaders and the members to keep it clean so that it can be a little model village in the Upper Mazruni.
Upriver are isolated settlements where families survive off the land. Several times a year, they venture to the main community, Kaku, to sell cassava bread and a traditional beverage, and to get necessities like salt and matches. The approximate farms in the area are over 300. The crops cultivated are ground provision, cassava, and mixed crops. The government has been supporting the developmental drive of this community. It is equipped with a primary and nursery school, a hot meal kitchen and health center, and purification tanks, which was installed by the Guyana Water Incorporated. Among projects ongoing in the community is extension of the primary school. This $32 million extension project will benefit some 200 students in Kaku. A fun park to allow the students to participate in extracurricular activities is also being constructed. The Fun Park project was done at a cost of $2.7 million. The community received $1.5 million under the Jubilee Grant Fund, and the remaining cost was from the village funds, Tushao Casey Hastings explains.
The park that you see there is the grant we received from the government for 150 years, and we were looking towards to build a benab that was some kind of reflect the heritage of the community, and the children can have somewhere to play whenever they have time to play. So that's why we decided on building the park.
Several young people are also engaged in the practical aspect of the Hinterland Employment and Youth Service Program, HAZE, under which they are being trained in skilled areas. Some of them have already ventured into their own business. Tushao Casey Hastings explains.
They have different sites. You have children selling gasoline, they have catering, they have photocopying, different kind of things they're doing.
So they already completed their studies and
they completed, they are now on practical. So that's one of the most successful programs I've seen so far.
Kaku was one of the hardest hit communities during the recent floods. The farmlands were destroyed and several homes were completely underwater. The government immediately intervened and delivered bed nets, potable water filters, cough syrup, cleaning detergents and other basic supplies to the residents.
Water was very high for the first time in my lifetime last week, and 124 households were affected. 4 homes were completely underwater, but the farms have been affected. All farmers, water covered the farms, or the water coming through the soil, and it destroyed all the farms. At this present moment, we would like to appreciate the response that we have received from the government very quickly, and the residents are really thankful for what has been done. A few days ago, the chairman and team were here, the vice chairperson, and now the minister is here. We are very grateful for the response we received.
The community also has a church and a village office. There are 3 shops and no alcohol is sold in the community, though persons buy from other communities and take to the village. It is safe to say that this village remains untouched and the people continue to maintain and preserve their way of life.
We have come to the end of another edition of Guyana 411, where we highlighted 4 indigenous communities: Masakanari, Muraki, Mainstay, and Kaku. Do join us again for another edition of Guyana 411. I am Senika Thorne. Have a great week.